Hey everybody, this is Dr. Joe Bafil here. I am here to welcome you to another Spinal Workshop series, this one on sugar. It's a perfect time of year to talk about sugar. Well, we're going to talk about the 10 disturbing reasons why sugar is bad for you. But before we dive into that, I want you to sit back, watch this short little video, and then we're going to get into our slides.
What I'm going to show you is that your body turns carbohydrate food into sugar. Let's start with a typical breakfast of cereal, toast, orange juice, and a banana. Cereal has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Toast has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Orange juice has about 1/4 cup of sugar. Banana has about 1/8 cup of sugar, and that's just breakfast. Let's say around 10 a.m. you get hungry, so you have a snack. Let's say you have a fruit on the bottom yogurt. This fruit on the bottom low-fat yogurt has a whopping 1/4 cup of sugar. And for lunch, let's say you're watching your weight, so you have a skinned chicken breast, baked potato, and some bread. There is no sugar in the chicken, but the potato has a heaping 1/4 cup of sugar in it. And the bread also has a 1/4 cup of sugar in it. So now 3 o'clock rolls around and you're feeling a bit tired, so you have a few pieces of candy and a soda pop. The candy is about 1/4 cup of, you got it right, sugar. And the soda is about 1/4 cup of sugar as well. Now for dinner, you're a good low-fat dieter and you're really trying to do the right thing, so all you eat is pasta. Pasta, bread, and a soda. In the pasta again is about 1/4 cup of sugar. The bread, another 1/4 cup. And the soda, about 1/4 cup of sugar. Now, are you getting the picture? Look at all this sugar in the foods you're eating. Incredible, isn't it? Keep in mind now that these spikes of sugar demand a spike in insulin to push all this sugar out of your bloodstream. Now, that's just one day's worth. Multiply that by 365 days, and then by how old you are, and you should be getting the picture of why most of us have had such a hard time losing weight and why many of us suffer from such a variety of health ailments.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. So, support for your common sugar handling problems. And here we go. We're going to dive in to 10 disturbing reasons why sugar is bad for you. But in between, we're going to see a few other slides just to create some dialogue or some connection. So it's not all about 1, 2, 3, what's the bad stuff here. So let's pull things apart here. A wonderful, great quote that I love and hold near and dear to my heart through one of the founders of my profession, chiropractic. We never know how far-reaching something we may say, think, or do will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. Truly, something if we can contemplate on this statement, we may never know our actions, our words, our steps of how they truly reach out to grab the lives and connect with others. So, question to you all, are we a healthy nation? Sometimes with a question like this, we could really sit and say, no, we're not. Or we could say, yeah, we are if we do this or we do that. Well, let's think about that. One person dies every 36 seconds in the United States from cardiovascular disease. About 655,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. That's 1 in every 4 deaths. According to the American Diabetes Association, the number of diabetics has increased from 6 to 16 million in the last 15 years. And another 21 million have impaired glucose tolerance. That's pretty sad, folks. And, despite relative daily narratives that go on in our lives, these things are still here, and we need to address them. We need to make a better choice. Some form of depression, anxiety, or fatigue affects over 50% of the population. So, are we a healthy nation? So again, 650,000 Americans die yearly from heart disease. A percentage of those adults aged 20 and over with overweight, including obesity, is 73.6%. So what's wrong with this picture? Well, we look back with the hourglass of time and, gauging to see what have we gone through in our history? What statues have we not torn down? In 2000 BC, before Christ, here, eat this root. 1000 AD, after the death, that root is heathen, here, say this prayer. 1850 AD, that prayer is superstition, here, drink this potion. How about in 1940? That potion is snake oil, here, swallow this pill. That's when Big Pharma creeped in. In 1985, that pill is ineffective, here, take this antibiotic. Can you see a trend? In 2000 AD, that antibiotic doesn't work, here, eat this root. In our office at Bafil Family Chiropractic, we focus on these three areas, what we call the triad of health: the physiological, the psychological, and anatomical. Through our connections with you, we definitely can get to the root of things and help make a difference and help educate you to making better choices. So stick with me here. We got quite a bit to accomplish here and educate you with. This guy here, he adds another ring. It's going to be very difficult for me to adjust his neck. So remember, as we go through here, the words that are going to ring out, and many times that I say this phrase, the number one cause of death is poor choices. Not heart disease, not cancer, not diabetes, and not even our current narrative of viruses. Chiropractic nutrition. Chiropractic nutrition is the use of diet and food supplements to support the chiropractic adjustment, a tool for addressing biochemical aspect of the subluxation. Now, a subluxation is the way the body speaks to us about its needs. Disturbances in function cause specific subluxations by way of a viscerosomatic reflex, inside out. Chronic visceral dysfunction and or an overload will cause persistent or reoccurring subluxation. So that continued neck pain that you're feeling may not just be neck pain misalignment because of a trauma. It could be related to maybe a thyroid issue. Maybe it's because we're having some sugar handling issues. Or maybe that lower back issue that you're experiencing is not just because you have irritation in the joints and inflammation. Maybe it's because there's a hormonal imbalance or maybe a digestive disturbance. So we always have to look beyond what we presently are seeing or experiencing. So let's talk about nutrition, the process of nourishing or being nourished, especially the process by which a living organism assimilates food, breaks it down, and uses it for growth or for replacement of tissue. I mean, that's a lot that, we deal with on a daily basis. That's a lot to chew on. The science or study that deals with food and nourishment, especially in humans, a source of nourishment or food. That's a very deep definition of nutrition. So, what are you feeding your bodies? What are you feeding your heart? Now, a vitamin, on the other hand, it's, a biological working complex consisting of nutrition and a nutrient or enzymes, coenzymes, antioxidants, and trace mineral activators. So it's a vital situation here that we're putting into our body to help spur on that spark of life that we're not getting from just the foods that we're eating. So let's talk about the definition of health. Health is a condition in which all functions of the body and mind are normally active. The World Health Organization, defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, or social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Maybe we need to go back and look at that definition that the WHO has really pondered and supported. It is very true. Let me read this again. A condition in which all functions of the body and mind are normally active. All right, defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, or social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, if you got a sniffle, if you have to blow your nose, and or if you feel indigestion and bloating, maybe if you have a change in your bowel habits, or maybe you have an opportunity where you have to vomit, does that mean that you're sick? Not necessarily. It's a visual in the inside of the body that it is doing its job, that we're fearfully and wonderfully made, a self-healing and self-replicating organism. Let's not take that for granted. This here slide talks about the 6 facets of health. This whole slide here is another spinal workshop that we're not going to do today, but I just want to touch on this with you. The number 1 facet of health is proper exercise, the correct type and timing. We need to get out and move. Good posture. So let's put it this way. Poor posture over a period of time is going to equal poor health. So when we have good posture, it's going to reduce the stress on the nervous system, the spine, and the muscles. How about number 3, nutrition? That's what we're kind of talking about here today when we're dealing with sugar issues. You are what you eat. And we're going to show you a few slides in a little bit about that. How about sleep? Because our body needs to heal itself while we rest. Positive mental attitude. No one gets well unless they want to. Yeah, we have to have the right thinking and the right outlook on things. And I know we've been bombarded by stress. We are under such amount of stress that we ever have been. And folks, we need to reach deep and dig deeper than ever before. And number 6, a balanced spine. The nervous system controls function. Yes, that's right. The nervous system controls everything in your body. You sever that spinal cord, nothing is going to work right. So let's not wait until there's a problem that develops. Let's move on. Thomas Edison, great thinker of his time. And he never gave up to get that light bulb to stay lit. So hopefully with this statement here, we realize that I'm just trying to be the light and a little bit of salty to be savory in your ears, your hearts, and your minds. But he said the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. Chew on that. So let's talk some statistics here as we dive into the 10 reasons why sugar is bad for you. Obesity is an American epidemic. According to the latest statistics, 54%, 97 million of the adult Americans aged 20 to 74 are overweight. Nearly half of those, or 22.5%, 39 million of Americans, have obesity, a point at which their health is seriously at risk from numerous conditions due to excess body fat such as hypertension, stroke, some cancers, and type 2 diabetes, which also we could add puts you into a risk category of, well, viruses, okay? Comorbidity, that's the word I was looking for. So it's tough to chew on this. It is estimated that at any one time, that 1/3 of the adult Americans are engaged in some type of weight loss or management practice. So here's a picture of what these things can occur and how it looks on our bodies. Bone problems, deep vein thrombosis, high cholesterol, arthritis, social discrimination, limited mobility. It goes on and on. While the mainstream critics continue to lament the consumption of fat as the root of Americans' weight problem, only carbohydrate consumption, mostly refined, has increased in the past few decades, while fat consumption has declined as the low-fat, high-fat, or high-carbohydrate diet has been promoted as the best nutritional option for the every living person. During this time, obesity, which in the past has consistently applied to about 25% of the population, increased to 33%. Heart disease now accounts for 50% of all deaths, up to 40% up from 40% in the 1970s. So in 40 years, we've increased that. Cases of diabetes are growing in near epidemic proportions. In fact, children are now contracting adult onset diabetes. Hypertension, chronic fatigue, and attention deficit disorder are now well recognized conditions. In 1821, the average sugar intake in America was 10 pounds per person per year. Today, it is 170 pounds per person, over 1/4 the average caloric intake. Another large fraction of all calories comes from refined flour and refined vegetable oils. Not making this stuff up, folks. We have sites that we got this from, peer-reviewed. This isn't fake news. So here's the USADA food pyramid. The average American eats 250 to 500 grams of carbohydrates each day. If we give it some thought and maybe change some of our habits and look at how we could eat differently, having our plate half of animal protein, the other half plant, and then drinking water, it's not hard. We need to make some changes. A landmark report by the National Research Council of the National Academy of Sciences noted that nutrition is inadequate in most medical schools and clearly defined the need for attention. The number of medical schools that require or even offer nutrition content in their curriculum has either not changed or decreased. Only 25% of the United States medical schools require instruction in nutrition. And although 50% of the schools offer it as an elective, as few as 6% of the students enroll in nutrition electives. So, I'm saying this to say that you may not be getting the right information from your primary care physician in regards to nutrition and how to eat. I will never forget a local doctor's wife one time said, "Why do you talk about nutrition? Everybody knows how to eat." Huh, okay. Let me show you some research that people actually do not know how to eat properly. And I am here to also be honest with you. I've had my own struggles. So it's a matter of knowing what to do, when to do, and how to right the ship and change direction. Choosing less of these things. Substitutes like this are chemically altering our nervous systems and our digestive process and our hormonal output. The dangers of Splenda, as you see listed on the side there, I mean, truly, it is chlorinated table sugar. So why would we want to consume this just to make things taste better? The truth is, diabetics age rapidly, and die an early death despite taking their medication. Here are a few current statistics. 68% develop heart disease. 50% of all new cases of blindness are in diabetics. And 70% develop neuropathies, of which many end in amputation. As a matter of fact, 60% of all amputations occur in diabetics. Additionally, despite taking the medication, people with diabetes have a twofold increase in dementia. Believe it or not, these statistics are right from the American Diabetes Association's website. Folks, diabetes, or if I may take a step back here, dementia, Alzheimer's, is starting to be indicated type 3 diabetes. A last word on blood glucose as a cause of cellular inflammation. Stop all artificial sweeteners. Once again, if we do the opposite of the AMA's diet, we will get it right. They recommend artificial sweeteners, which cause more insulin and leptin, a hormone that tells your brain to burn fat for energy. Resistance, then regular sugar. You heard it right. You are better off drinking regular soda. Diet soda drives obesity and diabetes more than regular soda. I am not telling you to drink soda. If not, diet is okay. It is absolutely not. But you get the point. The artificial sweeteners are actually toxins known as excitotoxins, which drives more inflammation than regular sugar and is the reason it causes more weight gain. So let's rethink this. Let's rethink our drinks here. Water. Absolutely no sugar in that baggie there. We see the Kool-Aid jammers or juice boxes, iced tea, chocolate milk, Red Bull. Oh, it's starting to get bigger. Or how about let's supersize that soda and then even Mountain Dew. Folks, we got to make some better choices. You get to choose. Choose wisely. Ooh, starting to feel a rumble in my tumble right now. So let's think of that meal that we may get at a fast food joint that adds up to about 1,300 calories. If we look there at all those apples, we're looking at 22 apples in order to get, 18 apples. Try and do some math here. 18 apples in order to get 1,300 calories. Now, I'm not going to sit here and eat 18 apples, but I'm going to make some better choices and not sit and eat that full meal from a fast food joint. So here we go. 10 disturbing reasons why sugar is bad for you. 1, added sugar contains no essential nutrients, and it is bad for your teeth. More visits to the dentist. How many people have fear of going to the dentist to have those cavities and those teeth scraped and bridges put in, and the teeth are just decaying and rotting? I don't know. Not my favorite thing to do, but I go every 6 months. Preventative maintenance. I brush my teeth. Just like getting adjusted weekly, I brush my teeth every day to make sure I have healthy teeth. Hey, number 2, added sugar is high in fructose, which can overload your liver, causing a situation called non-alcoholic fatty liver. Glucose is found in every living cell on the planet. If we don't get it from diet, our bodies will produce it. Again, fearfully, wonderfully made. Fructose is different, though. Our bodies do not produce it in any significant amount, and there's no physiological need for it. But yet, a lot of our foods today are high in it. Yes, Jimmy, I'm confused as well. I That stuff there looks really delicious. Or maybe I should have a piece of fruit. I don't know what to choose. Can you help me? That looks a little better. There's no bad choices allowed right there. Just 1 can a day increases chance of diabetes by 20%. 1 can. We need to make better choices. We need to eat less CRAP. Carbonated drinks, refined sugars, artificial sweeteners and colors, processed foods. We need to eat more food. Fruits and vegetables, organic, lean protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and we need to drink water. Back to our disturbing reasons why sugar is bad for you. Number 3, overloading the liver with fructose can cause non-alcoholic fatty liver. I must have gave it away earlier. I'm sorry. I was ahead of myself. Overloading the liver with fructose can cause non-alcoholic fatty liver, which basically means scar tissue building up on the liver. And the liver does 500 to 700 different functions on a daily basis, 24/7, without us thinking about it. And all that scar tissue building up in here because of a fatty liver, it's not going to do its job well. And then what occurs? Well, we have resistance, hormonal imbalance. We are not healthy. Everything functioning 100% at 100% of the time. Absence of disease. How about number 4, as it's staring right at us? Sugar can cause insulin resistance, a stepping stone towards metabolic syndrome and diabetes. This is also known as insulin resistance, which is believed to be a leading driver of many diseases, including metabolic syndrome, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and especially type 2 diabetes. Hey, let's move on over to number 5. The insulin resistance can progress to type 2 diabetes. Given that sugar can cause insulin resistance, it is not surprising to see that people who drink sugar-sweetened beverages have up to an 83% higher risk of type 2 diabetes. 6, sugar can give you cancer. For this reason, many scientists believe that having constantly elevated insulin levels, a consequence of sugar consumption, can contribute to cancer. The metabolic problems associated with sugar consumption are a known driver of inflammation, another potential cause of cancer. Multiple studies show that people who eat a lot of sugar are at a much higher risk of getting cancer. Number 7, moving right along, due to its effects on hormones and the brain, sugar has a unique fat-promoting effect. Different foods can have different effects on our brains and the hormones that control food intake, like leptin that we talked about earlier, or ghrelin. 8, because it causes massive dopamine release in the brain, sugar is highly addictive. Whew. Like abusive drugs, sugar causes a release of dopamine in the reward centers of the brain. The problem with sugar and many junk foods is that they can cause massive dopamine release. Feel good, okay? Much more than they were ever exposed to from foods around nature. The everything in moderation message may be a bad idea for people who are addicted to junk food, because the only thing that works true for addiction is abstinence. Sugar is more highly addictive than cocaine. Folks, we need to take more and more steps to make better choices. Number 9, sugar is a leading contributor to obesity in both children and adults. The way sugar affects hormones and the brain is a recipe for fat gain disaster. The link is especially strong in children, which each daily serving of sugar-sweetened beverage is associated with a whopping 60% increase in obesity. One of the most important things you can ever do if you need to lose weight is to significantly cut back on sugar consumption. And maybe drink more water. Or maybe we also cut our portion sizes. That's another spinal workshop. But if you're fed up with how your diet's going, like Charlene here, sometimes we can maybe take some serious aim at targeting her weight. All right, number 10. It ain't the fat. It's sugar that raises cholesterol and gives your heart disease. It gives you heart disease when we have more sugar, not the cholesterol. You've been fed a bunch of hooey. The evidence is mounting that sugar, not fat, may be the one of the leading drivers of heart disease via the harmful effects of fructose on metabolism. Studies show that the large amounts of fructose can raise triglycerides, small, dense LDL, and oxidized LDL, very, very bad, raise blood glucose and insulin levels, and increase abdominal obesity in as little as 10 weeks. So I'm a visual guy, and some of these pictures here are worth 1,000 words, maybe 1,000,000. Who knows? Maybe you could win a lottery of making better choices. Maybe having your fridge look like this. Medicine is not health care. Food is health care. Medicine is sick care. Let's get this straight. For a change, it's about time, folks. Speaking of change, when 90% withdraw from change, be the 10% that shines. We need to make better choices if we want a better outcome. So a little reminder, eating is either an act of suicide or an act of living. So I have 4 questions for y'all. Where are you today regarding your health? I want you to ponder that. Think about that. Maybe write it down. Journal it. Take a blank sheet of paper and write it down. Where am I today regarding my health? Where will you be in 5 years? I know a lot of us don't look too far into the future and plan ahead and set goals, but think about your present state of being, of living. Where are you? Where do you want to be? Where would you like to be in 5 years? And let's add this to the statement. Where would you like to be in 5 years in regards to your health? Why do you want to be there? I want you to answer these questions. Write them down. Folks, as you're watching this, if you have some questions about this, if you have some answers you want to share, comment, share. I would be very, very, my heart would be warm to read these comments. I would love to see what more we can do to be a service and help you in guiding you and educating you to maybe make some better choices. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. You need to choose. Here's some ending reasons here why sugar destroys your health. There's a lot there, and I could certainly go over 108 reasons why, but let's just cut it down to a few here. It leads to cancer in the ovaries, causes asthma, causes arthritis, tooth decay, hemorrhoids, heart disease, can exacerbate PMS. It can lead to formation of kidney stones. Ooh, that's a good one. Everything you do is based on a choice you make, okay? The choices you make. It's not your parents. It's not your past relationships. It's not your job or the economy or the weather. It's not the present day life that we're in. An argument or your age that is to blame. You and only you are responsible for every decision and choice you make, period. Chew on that, babe. Chew on that. Hey, we made it. Success. I love this little guy. He's ready to tackle that sand. Folks, I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you. This is Dr. Joe Bafil. I ask that you share this, like it, share it, comment. This is an awesome opportunity. I look forward to sharing more spinal workshops with you, along with Dr. Courtney. We are here to help serve you and connect with you and hopefully inspire you to make some changes, because those changes will allow you to experience abundance in your health naturally. Bafil Family Chiropractic on Facebook, Dr. Joe Bafil on YouTube. We're BafilFamilyChiro.com. We're here for you. Have a great day.